Sorry, gotta turn the sounds back on, but here we are, back in action, game number 2. And it doesn't feel like game number 2, because as crazy as that first game was, it did go long. But, spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, he's down 1 at the moment. We'll see if he can turn the series around. It's Flipside Tactics, blue, Zerg player, JonSnow.
In the upper right, as the yellow Zerg, it's Catz.
Alright, so I think, we kind of have this problem. Zomgrup's on top of a guy. She's on the ball. She's removing these guys like crazy as they try to force their way into the lobby. But the same folks who like harass and try and get in for results and things like, disguise themselves as ESL Obs 3 or like Korea Caster and stuff like this, is getting so annoying. I think like I'm actually at this point where we might have to make like barcode casting accounts. Like, how stupid is that, right?
I feel like it is stupid. You're right, but it's like. This is like on Blizzard.
I know. I've actually, I've heard rumors, nothing confirmed, guys, from any official sources, but I have heard rumors that they are working on this specific problem, so hopefully it's not something that will last much longer, because what you just have to understand is, like, you look at streams like I am and it happens, you're like, wow, so unprofessional, but it's not exactly their fault. It's not like some guy was like, ooh, I'm gonna invite 3 Apollos because I'm an idiot. Like, people just, they abuse ways to get into lobbies when they shouldn't be able to, which kind of sucks, but hopefully fixed.
I feel like people, like, I was reading like Reddit threads when that happened, right, as this game is opening up completely normal passive macro, where people don't understand that it's basically a bug that lets you real ID into someone you're only just friends with. You're just friends.
Yeah, you can use like character codes too or something.
The real ID. Yeah, so it is a bug, and when you're in a lobby that's full of like 8 casters all from different languages, if one guy joins in, it's sometimes really hard to notice. So
yeah, another really annoying thing too is like if you're in a channel with somebody, even if you're not friends with them, there's like a second when you join the lobby that the real ID button will show up. You just click that and join. Like there's a lot of ways to abuse it. So hopefully it's something that gets fixed soon, because I am seriously considering just making a barcode caster account.
Yeah. So I looked up while I guess things are going along, like their stats in regards to each other, right? Because these guys played in Copa America, and I wondered how often. Not actually that often, but Catz is technically down 2 series to JonSnow, so it's 2-1. Is Catz gonna get the second one?
I can see that though, because I think like in every Roach versus Roach game, we saw these really cool things where Catz was always like the guy hitting with 2-0, and JonSnow was like the guy with 2-2. Catz would be the guy who would go for like the melee upgrades and harass thirds, whereas JonSnow would play standard. And I think like most games where Catz can kind of be Catz, so to speak, either with his +1 melee builds or just cheesy all-ins, like I think he beats JonSnow every single time. But when it comes to like a standard game versus a standard game, I think that's where JonSnow kind of gets that edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's a good way to put it. The most recent result was the grand finals, and JonSnow did take that, so I think Catz is getting a little bit of revenge here. Just tiny bit.
To start.
Yeah. JonSnow does throw down a kind of quick Baneling nest, maybe a little worried. I mean, they do have eyes on each other. They both found each other really quickly.
Yeah, ZVZ, the one matchup you kind of play with map hacks on for. It's that Overload spread. I think it's funny though, because like last map as an example of this in Van Eye, it's sometimes can almost be a detriment though. Like you expect like, oh, I haven't seen any lings, I'm good to go, but really Catz snuck like 6 right by you. So sometimes in rare instances that could be scary. I know Derelict Watcher was another big map where you could pull that sort of stuff on, but for the most part like this, yeah, you wouldn't be able to sneak anything by.
Yeah. JonSnow throwing on a kind of quick second guess. No, it's fine. But a lot of lings as well. A lot of lings. He does have a lot of gas stored up with that second gas going along as well. And, Catz didn't go for Baneling nest. Catz is going for a quick lair.
Catz also has a potential wall off, so this might just get shut down before it even gets to begin. I mean, he doesn't even need to have the queens here. Obviously, queens are great, but a 3rd Evo chamber, or 2nd Evo chamber, pardon me, to fully wall off would probably be his best bet once he sees this is coming, just to keep that from getting out of hand.
This is so much gas. Like, the lings are going to be a surprise, and I guess the amount of banelings are also going to be a surprise. Like, I guess like 10 might be not unexpected for someone who really wants to dedicate, but I wonder how much this is going to make.
Will this actually be able to... I mean, the evolutionary chamber's not got that much health on it. I think he might be able to chip this down. Yeah, Morio was coming down to be safe, but this will expose the Spine Crawler, which is a little bit scary. Queen's got to get in position, try and hold the lines. And they are doing an okay job. He's got Aegis who's almost ready to go, but I think the queen might die before that does happen. Roaches pop out just in the nick of time. There's not enough banelings to kill the drone line, as scary as this looks. But the roaches and the drones have to work together because the zerglings will kill roaches when surrounded like this. Nice quick Evo Chamber out of Catz. Doesn't cancel the other one though, so there's a lot of minerals lost. Kind of sucks, but looks like he will hold against what is, well, an all-in.
No, nope.
Well, I say this perhaps a little too soon. There's more roaches on the way. Stack those drones. Stack those drones.
Hold the lings. Hold the lings.
Yeah. Hold
Do
position.
the things. Win the points.
Catz has lost a lot of workers through this, but this does simply even it up. JonSnow takes a slight lead at this point. But Catz, if he retaliates, I mean, this is a lot of roaches.
God, look how much gas JonSnow has. I really wonder what the second gas was for so early.
Yeah, 400 gas almost at this point is kind of waste when you think about it. But I guess he'll be able to dump that into upgrades and maybe try and get an army lead through that. But yeah, that was nasty for Catz. He's got to definitely drone like crazy to make up those losses.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of comfortable knowing that you have enough roaches now to block off, and maybe if you dedicate a few more, you're going to have enough to not only wall off, but yeah, be able to go out on the map as long as you don't get completely surrounded. And maybe go ahead and get that third. So you're rather protected. I feel that maybe Catz's question right now is what's going on behind this. Is it Mutas? He's a overseer on the way to check.
Yeah, that is actually really scary because you don't want to over-prepare on roaches and then find yourself like, oh, Spire, great, GG. And if it is Mutas, you see that, you know there's a time in which you can move out and attack, and that's kind of always doing this slow roaches waddling while the Galil Reconstitution completes, but gotta be careful it doesn't get surrounded, even with this many roaches. I mean, Lynx can do a surprising amount of damage. Hoping that he left the wall open. That's not the case, though. Catz did leave 3 roaches at home on hold position, but, oh,
wait a minute.
Is he gonna snipe the roach speed?
And it wasn't a wall!
Okay, it wasn't a full wall.
I think he should have gotten the roaches.
I think he should have, could have won it. Oh my god, is he gonna finish? He's denied, denied, no roach speed. Well, this is great for JonSnow because now his roach speed rockets ahead.
I mean, that
was anticlimactic.
That roach speed was gonna hit, like, you know, with Catz halfway across the map. If he didn't have to come back and do this and defend here, and then it might have gotten a little dangerous as JonSnow was, you know, only now getting those roaches out. You know, maybe the extractor would have been sniped off or something, but it would have been just a little bit scarier. But now he knows that like Catz is not going to be attacking. He's not going to be posturing either. So a quick third. Safe third might be in order. Yep, both players.
Well, the game kind of, again, evens out. Like, Catz's small lead in the roaches dissipates through the fact that he can't hit at that sweet, sweet timing. But he did get the scout off to see that there wasn't a Spire, that it was going to be roaches. He saw the evolution chamber wiggling even, so he knew that he wouldn't be up to anything against anything too crazy.
I mean, now JonSnow is just like, I do whatever I want. Because like Catz can like stay and defend and you know, be probably pretty okay with defense advantage, even if he can't necessarily micro as well. But he's the one that's definitely gonna be in the back foot. JonSnow's feeling pretty comfortable.
Takes out the spine crawler pretty quickly, but there's a surround of the roaches. It's just a little too much here on the defender's side, as JonSnow will be beaten back. Loses a spine crawler for it, but Catz takes a decent roach fight. And his third does actually go up while this happens. That's
too bad. The roach speed's supposed to, you know, make you not lose that many roaches when you decide to take a fight. But did go in just a little too long for that spine crawler.
Well, the roach versus roach game, like I said, if it goes to like standard play, I give it to someone like JonSnow, because Catz, he tries to do these really cool things. Like, he'll do the blinding cloud fungal growth combinations that sometimes work really well. But for the most part, I feel like when he goes for those moves, they do rely on his opponent making a mistake rather than him playing well. Whereas JonSnow is probably just going to play it standard. Whether he goes Hydras or Infestors might not even matter, because, again, this is kind of where we see him succeed more often than not in the late game.
And Catz does have those upgrades hitting right now, along with roach speed. Kind of a odd, coincidental, perfect timing there. So he's actually looking quite good. It's the same army supply. Same drone. It's very similar to those upgrades. These
upgrades are, it's big too. It's 1-1 over his opponent rather than, like, well, 2-1 over 1-0, but still, like, one upgrade on each, looking pretty darn good. But it's so hard to judge, like, is it safe to try and fight against the defender's advantage? Especially when you're going up a ramp, what is an impossible choke into your opponent's concave. So the fact that he backs away from this, he loses his timing, but it also guarantees that he doesn't throw the game. When you're down or up 1, even like this, you still don't want to throw it.
Yeah. It's true. Gets the infestation bit behind this, so I guess infestors. Gonna kind of go into this very, very long macro game. I expect to see a fourth, actually. Like, usually we have Roach versus Roach, and, you know, it's like, who dares break the Roach first? Who goes into Hydras or Infestors? But as passive as it's been, and with, you know, the positions, like, how much they can see, they see, like, almost every avenue of attack. Is there going to be a fourth base soon?
I feel like for either player, like, it's a little bit risky, because, I mean, every bit of minerals counts. Every Roach does count, right? So... I kind of understand the delay, but you're right. Like a fourth base would be fantastic if they could find a way to soundly go for one. But it's Catz with the Infestors, and you know, if you've ever heard me cast as EVZ, guys, you know I love seeing Infestors. I think there's just so much good potential that comes out of them. You know, you catch your opponent's army with Banelings being the choice of JonSnow to go Roach Baneling for that giant bust through. All it takes is 2 greatly positioned fungal growths to stop the Banelings in place.
That's interesting that he goes for the Banelings as well as the Infestation Pit, though.
Plan B? Actually, it's more surprising, I think, to see the Banelings this early. Because normally it's when you start build canceling all the spores, the extra supply becomes the Banelings, not your normal supply.
JonSnow did go for that fourth, by the way. Catz sees it and does it shortly afterwards. It goes up to a Hive. I mean, I really feel like they've just both, like...
This is...
it's going to be that game.
This is Catz, though, right? Like, we know he's, like, get a couple of Vipers mixed in there, Blind Clouds, because the army can't shoot while they're fungal growth. I mean, there's a lot of good ways his Hive tech could pay off, but, I don't know. Still, for JonSnow, I think the Banelings might just win out if done correctly.
We'll see. Fungals are powerful.
Yeah, he's got a slightly bigger bank for the moment, but that's because Catz has, of course, gotten a leap into the Hydralisk tech, into Spine Crawlers for defense, so Defender's advantage is going to be not just a larva reinforcement, but actual defense. Couple of fungals. I like that he spread the Banelings out. They're not actually clumped. It's going to be really hard to lock these down. So a couple do manage to connect. Oh, the Infestors stuck on the front lines. Get a couple more fungals off. But the Roach count is 45 versus 55. Catz down in supply, but Defender's advantage. A couple more fungal growths. Spine Crawlers coming out. He should be able to push this back. He does, in fact, push this back. Upgrade leads slightly in his favor. So much of JonSnow's army is battered, tattered, and ruined, but Catz doesn't have the numbers to really chase this.
Yeah. Does he get that Hive on the way, you know? Like, extend that lead with the upgrade to the Vipers and keep playing this passive game on Deadwing. For JonSnow, I feel it is actually up to him more so. I mean, he had that earlier Roach speed, and I thought he was going to command the game, but after the way the fights have been going, I actually feel kind of in favor of Catz right now. Even though, like, it is still a pretty even game. Yeah, no one's really snowballing yet.
Well, a quick little announcement. Just the raffle has been drawn at this point. The winner of Dark Souls 2 is Lloydinus. Lloydinus has until this game is completed to type something in chat to claim his prize. And if he doesn't, we will redraw it after this game concludes. So, those who lost, hope he's AFK. And if you won, this is your moment to shine, sir.
Cool. Viper's getting all types of preps.
Yeah. These +3 upgrades are huge, too. A lot of the times we don't see ZVZ get to +3. Hey, that rhymes. But, sorry. Anyways, aside from that, like, the damage it brings is actually worth noting. Like, normally we see, like, oh, 2-2 versus 1-1, whatever. But, like, level 3 weapon upgrades on Hydralisk especially, on Roaches as well, it just really increases their damage to a point where it is a huge deal. So, 3-2, let's say, versus 2-2, it's going to go massively in the favor of Catz.
Do you see what I see, Rifkin?
What do you see, Zombie Robe?
Well, I see a ZVZ that's gone to 20 minutes without much action and 2 Spires and all are 1 Hive, so... I think I'm gonna be saying...
I don't know if it'll get to that, but I think that's getting a little ahead of ourselves, because we still have this big maxed out supply, but I think that is the end goal, right? Like, that's, if you can get to it, great. But Catz has invested so much into the range. For him, it seems less likely. More like just having Corruptors for the time being, but you're right, Greater Spires, endgame ZVZ, we know how this goes.
Just the amount of Spine Crawlers is what tells me, you know? Like, maybe it's like, from the Wings of Liberty days, like, oh my god, he's got side defense, he's going up to a Greater Spire!
Okay, well, maybe that'll be the case. Yep, Greater Spire does start up. But I kind of feel like Catz might win it before it's necessary, you know? Again, they're both going for
Catz isn't
3-3.
moving, though. Like, they're both just like... Oh, JonSnow's been like, are you gonna do anything? And Catz like, nope. Alright then. So JonSnow's kind of giving up his position out in the map, too. Oh, Catz moves! Oh, there you go.
It's like, sounds like you're describing a dead cat. Oh, it moved! It's alive!
Like you poke it with like the chopsticks, like in Friend. Oh, wait,
yeah,
did you watch Friend?
poke,
Okay,
poke.
Yeah.
Alright, this Ling Rabbi is actually kind of funny because it will get a couple of good kills on the drones, but that might help Catz get a bigger army supply, so might not be such a bad thing.
Bro. Thanks. With my 4,100 minerals, I'm gonna be really sad.
Yeah. Could you be more sarcastic? This is my friend's QN. But yeah, so he's actually gonna hold that pretty well. He's breaking the back rocks himself while this goes on, but I mean there's stack defense coming in. Oh, pardon me, that was just the oversupply. As he does pump cancel out for a couple of extra corruptors.
Oh, we got Catz moving into the army. Oh, not much happening.
Yeah, with those fungals. He's got so many blinding clouds in these Vipers, but both players are going to corruptors, and looks like both players will in fact be moving to what you predicted, being those Brood Lords. Now, this is where the game becomes dynamically, how do I phrase this? Stupid?
Not dynamic. It's just Brood Lords versus Brood Lords.
Yeah. Well, we've seen some really cool moves where folks can like sneak in spore crawlers underneath. They walk underneath the broodlings to root them because it's like there's so much focus on the broodling versus broodling fight. And when that happens, like spore crawlers truck a broodlord. It shouldn't, but it does. So it's, I don't know. This could be a really weird fight depending on how this goes. We might also just get that stale game where it is like 30 minutes versus 30 minutes, broodlings versus broodlings, nothing else happening. But I kind of feel like both of these guys are good enough. So I don't know. It's too soon to call for sure. Yeah.
So, I guess the question now is upgrades, because they're both going to have the same weapon up, or the ground upgrades, but the air upgrades are something they both kind of held off on. You know, they had to get the Greater Spire first, of course. So, you know, +1 Carapace for one person. Are we going to see melee upgrades too? And actually, the fight does go down here.
Nice fungals to start. He fungals the Broodlords, so who cares? They can move through it. It's the damage that they're going to be looking for. Infested Terrans coming underneath this might get some shots off. The Roaches, of course, can focus these down quickly if they want, but looks like Catz is going to win this fight initially.
Catz took that down. But the Broodlords are still alive, so we're kind of ending on like a...
He's abducting Roaches because you can't abduct Broodlords. That's static defense, though.
Blinding cloud too.
That static defense needs to be, I think, either brought forward or Catz needs to start just laying down some new groundwork. If he continues to push with what he has, like he's got a decent army left, but so does JonSnow. You know, remaxing on a lot of corruptors. It's not like he finds himself without anything.
They're both expanding to each other.
This is so
break
stupid.
Break down the thing.
Break down the rocks. This is like the Capulets and the whatever from Romeo and Juliet, right? Two houses right next to each other. Like, all right. Well, I think with this base going down, this is definitely an advantage for Catz. But what Catz did do is he opened a back door for JonSnow, so JonSnow could expand the other way. Losing this base doesn't mean the end of the game. And Corruptor's actually getting on top of the Broodlords pretty darn quick. Not a lot of support. Odd abduct, but hey.
Never see a Corruptor's abducted. What the flip?
It's the energy. Use it or lose it, right? Like,
with the flip side,
oh! There's a really cool position he could take advantage of, though, as Catz continues to press forward. He is getting counterattacked by Lings, and he doesn't have that bank anymore, so it is actually a little bit dangerous to possibly lose this. But it's Lings without upgrades against Queens with level 3 armor upgrades, so as we see, they're not really dying very fast. In fact, they have weapon upgrades, so they're kind of killing the Lings.
Sick burrow upgrades, you know, and all that. Yeah, really good. But JonSnow is the one that's investing into the +1 melee. And I was like, are they really going to invest in it? And apparently the answer is yes.
Ooh, Fungal is kind of nice on top of the Corruptors, but there are way more Corruptors, almost twice as many Corruptors for Catz than there is for JonSnow. So taking this fight might just be out of the question. Well, the Broodlords just kill everything on the ground. The idea is that you deny money, you shut down the hatchery, and eventually your bank will win this game. But transfuses are looking really nice. Catz, you know, one person went for air upgrades, that's Catz. The other went for armor upgrades, so that's JonSnow. So a bit of an odd fight going down, but ultimately, despite like what is a million transfuses, he still has more Corruptors. Oh, I'm starting to lose that as the Remax comes in.
Yeah, JonSnow's like 5 Corruptors did better than Catz's like 15.
And Catz is swapping out to Swarm Host behind this. I think he's just accepted that Broodlords are going to die, so he's going to focus the hatchery, I guess. Wow, this looks really stupid. Watching the broodlings attack the broodlings, attack the hatchlings.
Catz took a really terrible fight.
That was a bad fight.
Seems to be a really good position. He had bigger corruptor numbers over a cliff. He was supposed to win the air war in a dominant way, and he lost both wars.
I feel like, I mean, killing that base was really good for Catz. There's no question about that. But he didn't really retain a bank behind this, so there's no way to really press that advantage. And now there's gonna be that slow counter push. The swarm hosts are gonna be kind of cool to see, but broodlords do beat out swarm hosts, like bar none.
Yeah, that just happened. I guess JonSnow is gonna win this. It doesn't seem right.
You actually sound like disgusted on like a socially moral level. Like it's not right. Like what's happening to the children in Africa right now? Like it's not right. The swarm host choice, I don't think was one I can get behind, but they are fully upgraded, so I think the idea was he was going to beat back the Hydralisk with it. But I also don't think Catz expected to lose the air war so hardcore, to lose to these broodlords so badly. So
they're queens, man, they're superheroes.
Transfuses are amazing. Wow, JonSnow actually brought his spine crawlers to the other side of the map. I didn't even realize that. It just registered with me. He's burrowing his spine crawlers into Catz's spine crawlers and winning the ground fight by doing so. What? He's actually, this is really cool because by doing this, he's using these to kill the spore crawlers, which allows his air army to advance forward. I've never seen anyone go about it like this, but that's one way to get it done. And JonSnow looks like he's going to tie up the series, even with the Pestilence, even with the Corruptors locking all this down. Catz has spent everything, and he's at half the supply of his opponents.
Oh, the transfuses on that broodlord.
Seriously.
Oh my god.
It's oh my goodness. Well, that's game. Quite frankly, GG, well played. JonSnow, ladies and gentlemen, will take game number 2. Well, okay, we gotta figure out what game 3 is. So Lloyd in this